Crystal Rogers' family gets a taste of justice tonight after Steve Lawson was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. WBKO's Brendan Crane was in the courtroom as the verdict was read and tells us what's next in this case in our top story at 10.
The final day here at the Warren County Justice Center in the Steve Lawson trial, and he's guilty. That 12-panel jury returning that verdict just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. That 12-person jury finding Steve Lawson guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. They also found him guilty of tampering with physical evidence. That's a charge that he and his defense team say he was guilty of from the beginning. Members of the Ballard family could be heard crying, sniffling during the reading of that. However, there were no outbursts. Judge Charles Sims said before the verdict was read, if there were any outbursts, there would be consequences. Special Prosecutor Shane Young also reminding the family of Crystal Rogers just before the verdict was read that they did not need to have any outburst, that there was still another trial to go through. Of course, that was a reference to Brooks, Houck, and Joseph Lawson's trial set to begin here in Warren County in June. Now, the consequence for conspiracy to commit murder is 10 to 20 years. That jury there deciding that Steve Lawson should get 17 years, and then on the tampering charge, it was 1 to 5 years, but they sentenced him to 5 years. They said they wanted that to run concurrent, which means he was sentenced to 17 years today. Of course, he must serve 85% of that total sentence before he's even eligible for parole. Now, this isn't the last thing that's going to happen. Judge Charles Sims has scheduled for August 6th at 3 p.m. a final sentencing hearing. At that time, a pre-sentence investigation will be revealed, at which time the defense and the prosecution will show up in court again with Steve Lawson. We heard from that jury 2 times today in the courtroom. The first time when they read that verdict that he was guilty on both charges. The second time after they deliberated on what his sentence should actually be. Of course, the jurors went back. There were only 12 of them. We started our morning with 15. 2 men and 1 woman were dismissed from the original 15 jurors. We'll continue covering this case along with that second high-profile trial expected to begin June 24th here in Bowling Green. For now, I'm Brendan Crane at the Warren County Justice Center.